Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Keon season 2 episode number 8 reaction. Alright, so yeah, it has been a while. It has been like 2 weeks. I wasn't being able to react to Keon because a few things happened. There was like a lot on my plate, a few other animes that I had to react to, and yeah, it got a bit busy. However, now that the anime season is concluding, I have a lot of time, and the next season there aren't much anime, so I'll be able to kind of be a lot more consistent with my Keon reactions. And yeah, I'll be able to complete it because this season was packed with a lot of animes, and I was actually reacting to quite a few of them. So yeah, that won't happen in the next season because there's a lot lesser animes, like lesser animes that I'll be reacting to. So yeah, I can be a lot more consistent from here onwards, and I will be able to complete season 2 reaction and also the movie I plan on reacting to. So yeah, anyways, the previous episode, what happened was we had a little tea party with Mio being the center of, like, the guest, not guest but the person of attention, and like Mio's fan club and everyone, like, they were very hyped about it. A senpai who had actually graduated, she was like Mio's biggest fan. She was also the student council president, so Nozoka also kind of wanted to invite her. However, she wasn't able to come by the end of it. But we still see that she is still as, like big of a fan as Mio that she was before she graduated. And Mio also had a little bit of trouble with like being the center of attention, but yeah, she managed by the end of it. So let's see what happens in this episode. This is episode number 8. Let's get started. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. What? Who is this? Is this Yui? What is this song? Oh my god. Oh, they're going on a walk. What? Oh my god. And they also have a turtle in there as a pet now. Tonchan? Wow. Damn. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, the future. Wow, she just fell asleep. kind of. Wow. Yeah. National University. Well, okay. You'll have to study a lot then. You know? Wow. Everyone has the same response. Oh, okay. I think that would be better. Yeah, there you go. Ah, okay. Ah, she's just changing her. Well, I'm pretty sure it is it will be kind of overwhelming, you know. Oh boy. Eng- yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, literature. Let's see. Okay, it'll be crazy. Okay. Wow. What? Oh, what's happening? Okay. Ah, she hasn't remembered. Is it correct? Okay, there you go. Oh, wow, she doesn't even know that. Wait, so she just remembered the song. That's it. Ah, undecided. Okay, what? Oh my god. Wow. I knew this was gonna happen. They're gonna get called. This was probably being called because she wrote undecided, while Yui hasn't even like submitted it. So, oh my god, Mugi, stop. Mugi, she is just. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Hmm. Probably in school or someplace. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of backstory. Okay. Oh, is that Nodoka? Yeah. She was just Devin. Oh my god. Okay, that's a nice. Oh, that Nodoka's drawing that. I was like, she actually draws nice. No, don't do that. Oh my god, she's gonna eat it, isn't she? Oh no. No! As soon as she was looking at the crayon, I was like, I hope she's going to put it in her mouth. Okay. What's she doing? What is that? Oh, it's like a prepackaged food? Oh no, it's. Taco-less takoyaki. Wait, so then it's just batter? Like that's it? Yeah, sushi became a lot less. I guess you could say, mama. Hmm. Hmm. Oh my god, stop it. Wow. Yeah, embarrassing. Okay, what? Alright, this. She is just. Wait, didn't she just. Okay. Wow. The same thing happened again. I guess. Oh my god. Yeah? Yeah, well, obviously. Um. Oh, really? Ah! Yeah! Wow, what an amazing dream! Oh boy. Award. Okay. Okay. Well, she still is. Wow. Wow, she is so. She screams at the top of her lungs while talking to others. What? Yeah? What what's she doing? Wait, what? I what? Oh, okay. Oh, really? Prefectural award. Oh, and she wasn't comfortable with that. That's why. Yeah, but she's not comfortable with so many people. Hmm. Yeah, the first time. Wow. Practice. Wait, what? That's not. What? What? Yeah. Yeah, that one thing. Think of everyone as potatoes. That's why pineapple? She kind of looks like a pineapple. If you look at her head, yo. Hmm. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, wow. She just gave some random. Well, that's just banter, you know? Oh boy. Oh, yeah. Oh. She's like, I don't know. Maybe like something related to music. Office worker? Okay, no. Wow, she's just going to get kicked out of the first day. She'll be fired. Your company's next door. Bus guide. But we need to have a lot of knowledge, about. Wait, does she have like a car sickness or something? Ah. Oh yeah. Waitress, okay. She'll probably trip and like drop everything. And that. She'll probably eat it herself. I knew it! Oh god. But yeah, something related to music. Like, she's associated with that. Music. Why? Like, I guess it's like a. I don't know. Like, not. I guess she had to be more specific. Like, musician is like a very vague term. Is that why? Okay, nah. What's she doing? What's she doing with the pillow? Hey, I used to do that. I remember while laying down with the pillow. That's funny. Oh my god. Why is she walking like that? Cosmetologist. Ah. She's asking everyone for. Nursing. Wow. What? For now, I'll do the best I can. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. Hmm. I like how, like, everyone when they go, they just kind of, like, put their hands on the tortoise statue, which I feel like it's something that everyone would do. Like if there's something like that in the handle of the stairs, like I'm sure everyone would do that once they go up or down. Okay, one thing I didn't understand: why was musician not not accepted? Like, just like someone said, like, oh, I want to learn about photography. I want to go to a photography school. Couldn't like that be like a potential, like a profession? Like, oh, I want to be a musician, so I want to go to this school which kind of has a lot of those type of things. Like, like a, I don't know what they're called, but schools where like they put stress on music and stuff, like a music college or something like that. I don't know, but something like that. Couldn't that be like a viable option. Like I feel like musician was a pretty good choice. I didn't understand that part. Why did Sawa-chan sensei was like, no, what? Like if yeah, like I'm pretty sure there's like schools like colleges that are dedicated to music. So, but I guess it's maybe because it's like very vague. Like she wrote musician, but if she wrote like something, okay, that's it. If she wrote something like like a music college or something, maybe she would have accepted it. I'm not really sure. All right. Anyways, this episode. So we begin with a little bit of a flashback of Yui playing with the tortoise, and Nodoka was like, "Yui, come quickly. We need to go." And then tries to bring Yui together with her, and Yui just trips and falls. That's kind of funny, and like kind of showing where Nodoka and Yui was like when they were kids. And yeah, and now they're both obviously like like high schoolers, and it's time for them to think about their future school, future college, or future career. So Yu is like sitting down trying to think about what to write in the sheet of paper, in the career sheet or whatever it's called. And Nodoka's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm doing this." Nodoka's like, "What the hell? You should have submitted that a long time ago." And obviously Yui is confused. He's like, "I don't know what to do. Like like what can I be? There's so many things there are, and I'm genuinely confused." So obviously, like, yeah, this is something that is probably going to like be a source of problem for a lot of people that is thinking, unless and until they have like a particular goal. A lot of people struggle with the whole future career prospect and all that. And Yui especially has never thought anything about it, so she's struggling with it. So she hasn't even written anything. So in the end, she's like, "Oh, let me just write neat." No, because like, stop, don't do that. And she's like, think about what you want to do, like, and something related to that. So Yui is like, "Where did you write?" And Nolka's like, "Oh, I wrote like a, I think she said like a national. What did she say? National university." She's like, "Oh, it's a high hurdle, but yeah, I think I can manage it." So he's like, "Oh, I'm going to write the same thing because I want to like go to the same place that you go to." But obviously, like like it'll be a very troublesome like thing. Like Nodoka, I can see Nodoka being able to like crack the exams and go to a place like that. Yui, however, nah, I like yeah, I don't see her like that at all. Like it's a very big hurdle, and I doubt she herself will be even interested in putting that much effort to like study and then go to like a college like that. So she just is like writing down what everyone is writing, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to write that." And then like Mio comes in, and Mio and everyone else comes in, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Mio looks at the sheet, and Yu is like, "What did you write?" And Mio's like, "Oh, I asked for like like I asked for a school recommendation." And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to write that one." Then Mugi, they're like, "Oh, what did Mugi write?" And she's like, "Oh, I wrote a prestigious like Ojo-sama school that I was supposed to go there." And she has like a little book like filled with all the information and everything. And Yu's like, "Okay, I'm going to do that," and writes down that. So looking at the book, like they kind of give it to her. They first of all, it's English, so they're like, "We cannot properly read this." So both Ritsu and Yui are just like, "Yeah, you know what? We're happy with what we have. Like like we don't need to learn English." But you cannot pass unless and until you learn English. So like there's that whole thing happening, and then they kind of try to like read the literature, and it's a lot of other things, and they cannot memorize like like the what did she say, the auxiliary verbs, you know. So then they come up with that like talk about that song that they kind of sing to remember stuff as a kid. Now yeah, I remember this whole thing like being a thing as when you were a kid. I remember, I don't remember what it was, but there was a few things that teachers used to teach us. through songs. It's very easy to remember through a song. And for example, I think like the alphabets as well has like a song to it, like kind of like a tune to it, like ABCDEFG, like like this. So it kind of helps you remember through songs and stuff. Like it always like sticks in your head, that type of thing. So Yui actually remembers one of those like like songs, and she actually like recites the whole thing. And he was like, there you go, you know it. And he was like, wait, was there supposed to be like a bigger significance behind this song? I didn't know how to like like I only know the song, I don't know how to use it. So funny. Anyways, so he was like, Risu, what did you write? And Risu was like, I've written undecided. And he was like, I'm going to write that one as well. And they're like, yes, like like we don't need to decide now. And they're just getting like all happy and everything. Immediately Sawa Sensei calls them in the intercom and is like, come to the staff room, both like Ritsu and Yui. And yeah, they have to go. So here they start having a conversation, Mio and Nodoka, being the two people who are like guardians of like Ritsu and Yui. Both of them are talking about their troubles. Like how how like like mothers go to like like to take their children to like I don't know, like a playground or some place, and like maybe like there's like two friends and they start playing, and the two mothers also start talking about all the like like the stuff that their children did, and like what trouble they had to face and all that, like that type of situation. This was basically Mio's like, oh, you have it hard, don't you? And Noloka's like, not as hard as you. That was the whole conversation. And that was kind of funny because they're like, Mugi's like, all right, let's go to the club room. And yeah, so I love how Mugi's always, like this in these type of situations, she just gets so excited. And she brings them to the club room, and Azusa's there feeding. I think she was feeding the tortoise, wasn't she? Yeah. So they come in and they're like give like give the tea and everything, like the pastry and all, give it to Mio and Nodoka, and then they're like, all right, so tell us the story. How did you meet Yui? So Nodoka starts talking about the past. So she's like, what actually happened was like we met in the kindergarten, and how I met her was a little bit unusual. I just looked back and she was there. That's it. That is like, and they kind of showed that is exactly what happened. Nodoka was just standing like looking somewhere else, and suddenly someone comes and pulls her like like her sleeve, and it's Yui, and Yui's like, oh, like like what does she say? Just a minute. Okay, she comes and like like pulls the sleeves, smiles, let's draw together. And then you you starts drawing. No, because like she was just there when I looked. That's how they met. Wow. And yeah, so then they like like Nodaka was drawing like an apple, and Yui's like, oh, that looks so tasty. And she looks at the crayon that is red color, tries to put it in her mouth, and Nodaka's like, don't do that. Well, they're just kids, like I'm pretty sure a lot of kids actually chomped on crayons. I remember there being kids in my class as well, like like in my like when I was in a kindergarten. I remember vaguely that like the parents and all of them, like like they used to talk about how they used to like like eat crayons, and like how that was obviously it's very like like it's crayons, it's very like it's poisonous, not poisonous I would say, but not good for your health. So yeah, like that being a thing, because I can see that like little kids seeing like those crayons and being fascinated about the different colors, kind of put it in their mouth. I like like kids do that all the time, puts everything in their mouth. So Nodoka being the responsible type, she always was like, stop that, Yui, don't do that. Stopped her from doing like like stupid stuff. And that's how they became friends. And so So she's like, and then we had like some sort of a weird connection. And Aziz is like, did she give you a lot of trouble? And she's like, no, not necessarily, but it's just, like back, like after we became a little bit older, when we were in, I think like she said elementary school or something. Oh no, probably like higher than that. And they went to like a camping trip. And here, Yui was like, like always like, kind of like in a very airhead, like like way she kind of like made clumsy mistakes and all. And during the takoyaki like session as well, in home economics, she forgot to bring the octopus. Takoyaki is the octopus in takoyaki is missing, so I don't think at that point it is takoyaki. So it's taco less takoyaki, like octopus less octopus yaki, basically that. Oh my god. So I don't know at that point what is it? It's just batter, isn't it? So they just ate black batter, flavored batter. They just ate that. That was taco less takoyaki. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, these type of things she used to do, and Nodoka's like, you just can't leave her alone. She has that type of a like a personality. So yeah, and I love how everyone just agrees to that, and she's like, yeah, you're right. That's basically Yui. All right. Anyways, in Sawatan Sensei's like in the staff room, Sensei's like, what are you doing? Why haven't you like written anything? And Ritsu, what the hell did you write? Undecided? What is that? Write something properly. So now obviously here I love how they like completely reverse the whole thing, where Ritsu's like, oh, Sawatan Sensei, like, when did you decide to become a teacher? And the funny part about this whole story is she talks about how there was another boy who like was someone who was like, oh, I like someone who's a teacher, and that's why she decided to become a teacher, and she again got like like dumped or something. So basically the same thing happened again. At first it was the whole rock star thing, where like the musician, where that dude was like, oh, I like a musician, and she became a musician and a like like a guitarist, and she got too far into it that the guy was like, you know what, that's a bit too much, I'm sorry. And she still didn't learn, and next she decided to listen to someone else who was like, oh, I like a person who's a teacher, and she decided to become a teacher. And then again she got dumped by the end of it. So but as Ritsu says, that it doesn't matter because now you're happy, and I feel like at this point that is the truth. Like she did her like like the guitar, like the music. She was a musician. She sang like she played the guitar and all that. So by the end of it she enjoyed it. So even though like even the reason why she started it didn't work out because the guy just dumped her, um she still enjoyed it, and it actually became like something that she realized that she always wanted to do. Also, the same thing with the teacher, because I remember her saying in one of the previous episodes how she genuinely wants to be a good teacher, and you can see from her mannerisms and everything, she genuinely wants to be a nice teacher and like someone who helps the students out. So by at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, like she became a teacher through in that manner, but like by the end of it she started enjoying it, and that's what all matters. It all worked out by the end of it. So that's how the whole conversation ended. So they literally like swapped the whole thing around and decided to ask more about Sawa Sensei. And when they come back, everyone's like, oh, how did it go? Did you get scolded? And it's just like, nah, nothing happened. Like we got more information about Sawa Sensei. Oh god. Anyways, right, so you is still thinking about what to write. So alright, now here Nodoka's like, didn't you want to become a kindergarten teacher when you were in kindergarten? And you said, oh yeah, you're right. And everyone's like, yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? Like, like it sounds perfect. And like I was thinking it must be something like that. The reason why she wanted to become a kindergarten teacher, because she wants to like play with kids, and that's exactly what she says. So obviously she's a kid at that moment, so she probably thought that, you know what, I want to play with everyone even more, even though, like, we're going to graduate in the end, I still want to do it. So how is the best way you can do it? If you yourself become a teacher. Now, like, what the funny thing is about this part? I remember I also had the same kind of an idea where, like, I went to school, like, obviously, like, like when I went to school, you see, like, the teachers and everyone, like, like when you were a little kid, basically, you see your seniors and the teachers, and you kind of think how good it would have been if I was in their position. Like, I'm pretty sure every children has thought of it at least that way, like at one point in their life when they wanted to be an adult, because like that's what kids think about, always want to be an adult. So looking at a teacher, I remember sometimes thinking, like, oh, it would be so interesting if I was a teacher. Like, I could actually, like, like obviously I could teach people, and I would, like, like I would have like a class full of kids who I can kind of, like, teach stuff, and like do other stuff with, like, kind of play, kind of, like, like just have fun. And like a few of the teachers that I really liked, they were very kind, they were very nice, and they used to play with us, kind of, like, like do a lot of things. So I used to remember, and I used to be like, oh, it would have been so nice. And then after, like the classes would end, I would go to the staff room and just, like, chill. And then also another thing I really was, like, like kind of thought about is like test. Whenever it was test, like test was the thing that I'm pretty sure everyone hated, and like we had to, like, give the test. And I used to always think, like, oh, what good it would have been if I was in the teacher's position. I would make the test for the students. I would make the questions and give to them, and then I'll just wait, and, like, like everyone would give the tests, and then I'll check it. I'll do the, like, in the end, I'll do the checking and everything, and I'll give them marks. And if someone does good, I'll give them, like, like little, like, awards and stuff. All these things I used to think about. And I was like, yeah, it would be so cool to be a teacher. Fast forward, reality actually sucks so bad that now that I am an adult, I realize how bad it is, like, how concerning and how, like, like tiring it is for a teacher to be a teacher. It sucks, actually. And now I know the reality. Like, first of all, the school is just continuously giving you stuff to do. You have to, like, do so many things, like, hundreds and hundreds of paper you have to check, the tests you have to check. It actually becomes annoying by the end of it. Like, when I remember someone who was a teacher who used to talk about all of this, how it was so bad. You have to do the markings, you have to, like, give marks to everyone, you have to make the question paper, you have to study yourself. Like, even in holidays you had to go to school to do different stuff. And it's like, the profession of a teacher is a slave driver with very less amount of money. The salary isn't even worth it, and it sucks. And that is the reality of this. And I just think, like, when I was a kid, everything was so simple. And yeah, now, like, as you grow older, the reality just slaps in your face and makes you realize how much of an idiot you were when you were a kid. How much naive you were. So yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, but I guess being a kindergarten teacher would be a lot more, like, chiller than, but it has a lot of responsibility. You'll have a lot more responsibility as a kindergarten teacher. That would be something. Anyways, but yeah, Yui was like, I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher because I wanted to play with everyone. So everyone's like, that sounds like you. And then they start, like, like Risu starts talking about Mio's, like, the presentation that she gave, and Mio's like, oh, don't talk about it, but obviously we have to talk about it. Flashback time. So Mio was a kid, obviously. When she went to school, she was very quiet, she never really interacted with others, always had a book open, and Ritsu was the first person who kind of interacted with her. And we know Ritsu, who she is, like, she just always just is, like, on top of you almost. So the way they got introduced to each other was Ritsu just staring at Mio, and Mio being uncomfortable by that situation, and Ritsu screaming at the top of her lungs, like, what are you reading? What is this? Come with me, give it to me. And, like, just completely terrorizing Mio. And this continued from that point onwards, and and she's like, I wasn't bullying her, it was just I wanted to, like, the person you like more, you kind of try to like kind of mess with them, that kind of thing. Mio's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to write something on your forehead, and she writes that I on her forehead. Anyways, the conversation continues, and she talks about how she wasn't really that big of a friend with Ritsu, because Ritsu always used to bother her. But then there was a time where she actually fell into a little bit of a trouble, where she became a winner of the prefectural, I think like a award she got, her composition. And so in these type of situation, you're supposed to read it to everyone. So she, with her social anxiety, she was panicked, she didn't know what to do, and she was so like scared, and she was like very depressed, just on the swing sitting down. And Risu comes in, and Risu's like, what are you thinking about? And she explains everything, and Risu's like, it's fine, like like you should be very excited about this. And if I was like someone who got an award like that, I'd be so happy, I'd tell everyone. And Mio's like, then you do it, like like don't bother me with that, I don't want to do it. And then this is the first time Risu realized that, oh, like she also can scream out loud, and she got even more motivated. And Risu's like, come with me. Now it's kind of true, like I remember obviously like in my school as well, you had these like like yearly what do you call them, yearly not a festival, but a yearly, like a drama or like a concert kind of thing, where they used to like like invite your parents in. And sometimes like it would be like a sports festival, like some years it would be like a little play, sometimes like concert. So like when it was like it used to like kind of switch, every year was different. One year it was like sports, one year it was something else. So it was something like that. So I remember there, like whenever there was like a concert type of like thing, I remember at the beginning it wasn't really compulsory participation at the beginning, but little by little as we grew older, it actually became compulsory participation. So everyone will have to participate, whatever you do. So which kind of bothered me so much by as we grew up, because at the beginning I really didn't participate in any of that. I was like, yeah, I can't do that. So but then as it became compulsory as we grew older, it used to always bother me. I remember I remember in a like a little acting like play kind of thing. I remember standing as a prop on the stage. Like I became a corn, in a cornfield. I was a corn in a cornfield. That was the first thing that I did in one of those plays. But then little by little we had to like like actually like say stuff on the um like stage, and it was like group concert or like that type of thing. Those were fine, like you have like a bunch of people with you saying like like a poem or like a song or something like that. It's fine. But then the problem struck when there was like one I remember when I was a lot like like a lot older, when I was like in like middle school or something, where I actually had to do one solo, like a poem I had to recite solo in front of like people. And I was just like, oh my god, I've never done something like this. How in the hell will I do this? Impossible. It's like such a like like such a thing, like standing in front of the stage alone, looking at the audience and trying to memorize what you like. You have to memorize. I cannot read something, I have to memorize the freaking poem. Like you have to memorize the poem, recite it in front of so many people, like also battling your stage fright at the same time. It's freaking like scary, like for especially for people who are not used to these type of things, who are introverts, so that was an experience, my god. Somehow I was able to do it, and I never wanted to do it again. Good god, that has been an experience of my life. And I can understand Mio completely here. And she's so young here. Like I was a lot older at that time when I had to do it, but she's like very young, and it's so like it's very intimidating. I can understand. So Ritsu's like, all right, like come with me, and takes her to her house and kind of does a little bit of a practice. And I love how Ritsu's like, all right, so think of everyone as pineapples. And she's like, I cannot be a pineapple, I cannot be a potato because I don't look like a potato, but if I tie my hair like this, I would look like a pineapple. So think of me as a pineapple and talk. And that's what Mio did when in the original, like part where she had to talk to, kind of recite this in front of so many people. All the audience members, she looked at them as if they were pineapples, and she was able to properly do it. So yeah, and this is another thing. I remember when I had to recite the poem. Nah, yeah, I didn't look at everyone as pineapples or potatoes. I just didn't look at them. That's all. I didn't look at them. Like, there's like a lot of people you can see. There's like, obviously, people were sitting down. I used to look in between the people, or look at the people's heads or something, not their eyes. No eye contact. If you do eye contact, that is scary. So in that type of situation, so either look at the ground, like not the ground, but the audience, like where they're sitting, the ground, or their head, like on top of their head, or something like that. Just don't make eye contact. It helps a lot. But yeah, that is how she was able to do it. And after that, they kind of explain how they became better friends. And Mio starts going to Ritsu's house, and she's like, oh, Ritsu used to teach me a lot of things. And then she's like, wait a minute, Ritsu never taught me anything good. All she taught me was something like weird stuff, like like ending your sentences with daze or something like that. The way Ritsu talks, she tried to teach me the way Ritsu talks. I think Ritsu always enters her words with daze. Yeah. So, anyways, so after that, like Mio's like, but you know what? In the end, I am thankful to her. So after that, we kind of went on a tangent. So we're back with the main thing problem, that is Yui. What should Yui do in her career? Like sheet. What should she write? So she thinks about being a florist, but then they're like, oh, you need to have more idea about botany. And then she was like, oh, let me become an office worker. But then she realizes that it would be kind of troublesome for her because she cannot wake up on time. Then they're like, oh, like how about a bus driver? No, sorry, not bus driver. Guide. But then she realizes that she has car sickness, so she cannot do that as well. So maybe like a waitress, but she won't be able to remember the orders. Patissier, she's just going to eat the cake herself. So they're like, I don't know what to write. But then she's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to write something. What did she write? Musician. Now, like I said, I'm not exactly sure why Sawa Sensei did not accept it. Maybe it's because it's too vague. But I feel like musician is a good, like a good option, isn't it? Like, but I guess if she wrote something like, oh, I want to go to a music college or a music, like a university to learn more about music, and then becomes a musician or something like that, I feel like she would have accepted that. I'm not really sure. Either way, Nodoka's laughing, and you say, "Oh, I self-sacrificed myself to make you laugh, Nodoka." That was the whole plan. And later on, she asked Ui as well as to what her plan is. Imagine your elder sister asking you what your future plan is because she is confused about her plans. But Ui is like, I cannot tell her that I just want to go wherever she goes because I'm so concerned about her. And it was funny to see this part because Yui was like, using her pillow to kind of both her legs to kind of do it. I used to do that as well. I remember taking a pillow and used to kind of juggle it on my legs. I don't know what the hell that was, but I used to do it either way. That's the first time I've seen someone else do it. That's funny. I thought I was the only one who did it. Anyways, so Yui is then kind of goes to sleep and still thinking what she should write. And then she asks everyone next day in school what they want to go to do. And everyone gives them their own version of what they want to do. Different person wants to do a different thing. Someone's like, oh, cosmetology, so I want to go like a school like that. Someone is like, oh, I want to help in the liquor store. Someone was like, photography, like someone wants to go abroad, all these different things. And Yui is still even more confused now. So what did she write? She wrote that, for now I will do the best I can. That is the future plan. Sawa Sensei kind of chuckles and then she's like, redo it. And yeah, Nodoka sees that and Nodoka kind of smiles. And that is where it ended. So yeah, this was an episode where Yui was in a dilemma, thinking about what she should do for the future, and it still isn't resolved. Hopefully, in the future, she's able to actually come up with a good, with a good plan as to what she should do. But either way, that is it, guys. That is my reaction to episode 8 of K-On! Season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And yeah, that is it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week with another episode of K-On! Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.